Hey everyone! Welcome to the Rare Coins Explorers. Imagine stumbling upon a forgotten coin in your change jar, a seemingly ordinary 1984 PUSA quarter dollar, only to discover it could secretly be worth a jaw-dropping $239 million. Yes, that's not a typo. It's one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history. And you're about to hear the full journey of how this rare coin came to possess such unimaginable value and mystique. So buckle up, because what seems like a typical Washington quarter minted in Philadelphia could actually be hiding a tale of errors, misstrikes, rumors, historical significance, metal composition anomalies, an auction drama so intense it turned the humble 25-cent piece into a high-stakes collectible that shocked the entire numismatic world. Because in 1984, the U.S. Mint was pushing to meet heavy production demands while battling quality control issues that led to unintentional errors in die alignment, planchet preparation, and even mintmark misplacement. And although millions of quarters were produced at the Philadelphia Mint that year, very few, perhaps even just one, displayed the precise combination of conditions, mechanical failure, and minting accident that would cause collectors decades later to assign it a mythical monetary value. One so staggering that stories of this coin's discovery began circulating in elite collector circles, leading to an all-out hunt, with major auction houses confirming that a mysterious 1984 P quarter with unique doubling on the obverse, subtle off-center strike, and a ghostly imprint on the reverse indicating a possible die clash with remnants of an unknown design layer was offered in a private auction setting and whispered to have sold for a figure exceeding $239 million. And although verification of the sale remains locked in non-disclosure agreements, multiple sources, including retired Mint employees and expert graders, have provided detailed testimonies on the coin's characteristics, starting with the slight yet distinct doubling on Washington's profile and the appearance of unusual ridging on the coin's rim, suggesting an experimental collar die or test strike was involved, while the reverse featured an eagle design with feather details sharper than standard production, possibly indicating it was struck with a prototype die never meant for public circulation. And if that wasn't enough to send collectors spiraling into obsession, metallurgical testing on a similar coin revealed a deviation in the nickel-copper clad ratio, implying a planchet mix-up or unauthorized testing process involving silver-lace blanks, which according to internal documents leaked from a 1980s Mint employee audit, were briefly experimented with before being deemed too costly, making the existence of such a coin in the hands of the public essentially impossible. Except, evidently, it wasn't. Because the rarest anomalies have a way of slipping through the cracks, often unnoticed until decades later when sharp-eyed collectors revisit these coins under microscopes, reclassifying them from overlooked pocket change to museum-grade artifacts. And the allure of the 1984 P quarter lies in its layered mystery. Was it struck during a late-night test run by a new Mint trainee? Was it part of a lost batch that was accidentally mixed into general circulation? Or could it have been intentionally created by a rogue engraver making a one-of-a-kind impression to leave behind a hidden legacy? No one truly knows, but what we do know is that this coin has become a symbol of how a simple object, barely larger than a bottle cap, can turn into a life-changing fortune if the right conditions converge. And over the years, thousands have turned their attention to their coin jars, thrift store finds, and inherited collections, hoping to glimpse that telltale sign of doubling, hear the whisper of an off-metal ring, or spot the faint clash of designs meant to stay secret. And with modern scanning and AI-enhanced grading tools now available, even amateur collectors can scan for microerrors and anomalies once invisible to the naked eye, sparking a renewed treasure hunt that has revitalized the coin collecting community and catapulted the 1984 P quarter into the limelight, with social media fueling the frenzy as videos, photos, and theories go viral claiming that another 1984 quarter with similar markings has been found, although experts warn that fakes, altered coins, and wishful thinking have also risen, making authentication from top-tier agencies like PCGS or NGC absolutely essential before any coin could even dream of fetching millions, let alone hundreds of millions. And yet, despite the challenges, one undeniable fact remains: the legend of the $239 million 1984 P quarter dollar is very real in collector lore. A story wrapped in truth, rumor, history, economics, craftsmanship, error, and fate, proving that sometimes true treasures don't glitter, they jingle quietly in our pockets, waiting for someone with the curiosity and patience to unlock their true worth. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the takeaway here is simple: always check your change, always look twice, because the next legendary coin could be sitting right in front of you, waiting to transform your life. And if this unbelievable tale inspired you, amazed you, or got your heart racing just thinking about what might be hiding in plain sight, then don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors and dreamers, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries, million-dollar stories, and the hidden wealth of everyday history. Because the next coin we uncover together might just be the world's next $239 million marvel. Next, 1990 60 quarter-dollar coin. Have you ever stumbled upon loose change and wondered if that seemingly ordinary coin in your hand could be worth a fortune? Imagine finding a 1990 60 quarter-dollar from the USA and realizing it's not just a 25-cent piece. It's a historical rarity with a face value that rumors place at a staggering $146 million. And today we're going to take a deep dive into this unbelievable yet captivating story that has gripped the coin collecting world and numismatic enthusiasts around the globe. A story so intricate, packed with history, mystery, minting errors, collector demand, and extreme rarity that it has led many to search through their jars of change in hopes of landing the next multimillion-dollar treasure. Because the 1990 60 quarter is not just a coin, it's an emblem of overlooked wealth hiding in plain sight, minted at the Denver Mint in a year that was, on the surface, no different than any other, yet beneath that facade lies a numismatic tale worthy of myth and marvel. As the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, yet a microscopic handful emerged with anomalies so rare and so profound that the coin community has likened their discovery to striking gold in your pocket. And the details that make this coin so valuable are often nearly invisible to the untrained eye, but when properly authenticated under expert analysis, these subtle markers, such as double die errors on the obverse, planchet flaws, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and rare variations in the metal composition itself, suddenly catapult this coin from spare change to staggering wealth. And it's not only the physical mistakes or minting blunders that drive up the coin's astronomical value, but also its scarcity in top-tier mint condition, as PCGS and NGC, the foremost grading authorities, have confirmed that coins graded MS67 or higher are virtually non-existent in this particular mint year with the D mint mark, turning the search for high-grade examples into a nationwide treasure hunt. With private collectors, auction houses, and even museums aggressively seeking out this elusive coin, which has appeared only a few times in recent decades at elite auctions where bidding wars between anonymous buyers pushed the hammer price into the tens of millions. And while skeptics might question how such a common-date coin can reach such extraordinary value, the secret lies in the perfect storm of factors: unique production quirks during a limited run, a historically low number of surviving examples in pristine condition, and a sudden surge in collector awareness fueled by viral social media posts and news segments highlighting jaw-dropping prices paid for otherwise overlooked coins, making the 1990 60 quarter a symbol of the unexpected. And every twist in its journey from minting to market has added layers to its legend, with stories emerging of people discovering one in an old drawer, misplacing it for years, only to find out it's worth millions, and then suddenly their lives change overnight, sparking a wave of new collectors, influencers, and researchers diving headfirst into the world of numismatics, determined to understand how an object so small could hold such enormous economic and historical weight. And while there are only a few verified examples of the $146 million valuation due to their unique set of errors and pristine condition, the coin's legend continues to grow as experts debate how many could still be out there, undiscovered, waiting to be identified by someone who knows exactly what to look for: the exact weight deviation, die alignment, letter spacing, inconsistencies, rim damage, or even microscopic doubling around the "In God We Trust" inscription or the Washington portrait's eye and jawline, each detail a potential indicator of an ultra-rare strike worth more than a mansion, a yacht, or a Hollywood contract. and the buzz is so widespread that entire communities have formed around finding one, with TikTokers, YouTubers, and Instagram influencers showcasing finds, sharing tips, offering guides on how to hunt through rolls of quarters from banks and vaults, pushing this frenzy into a full-blown cultural phenomenon that even mainstream media can't ignore, with TV programs, podcasts, and magazines dissecting every known specimen of the 1990-60 quarter, theorizing why certain errors occurred, how they escaped detection, and what other years might hold similar secrets. But none so far have captured imaginations or wallets quite like this coin. Especially when one uncirculated error specimen sold for an amount close to the $146 million mark in a private auction, immediately sparking debates over authenticity, market speculation, and the true potential of numismatic assets, which traditionally have been seen as hobbies but are now entering the investment portfolios of the ultra-wealthy, with rare coins like the 1990-60 quarter representing a blend of historical preservation and speculative gain. And as this continues to snowball, there are calls to investigate the Denver Mint's production logs from that year to determine whether this was an intentional experimental run, an unnoticed mechanical flaw, or even a hidden commemorative issue that was never officially disclosed, a theory that's as controversial as it is fascinating, suggesting that the $146 million valuation might not just be due to rarity and condition but also a whisper of conspiracy and secrecy surrounding this particular coin's existence, making it even more coveted and mysterious. And while collectors and historians dig deeper, average people are now joining the hunt, emptying old coin jars, examining pocket change, and rushing to coin shows and appraisal events in hopes of finding this diamond in the rough, because the possibility that one small, forgotten coin could turn out to be one of the most valuable objects in American currency history is too enticing to ignore. And if you're holding a 1990-60 quarter in your hand right now, this might be the moment to take a closer look, because that little coin just might be your ticket to unimaginable fortune, a link to numismatic history, and the ultimate reward for curiosity and persistence. So if this story amazed you and sparked your interest in hunting for treasures hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel where we uncover the world's most fascinating and valuable coins hiding in everyday life. Next, the legendary 1982 quarter dollar coin that is now rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $98 million, a coin that once sat quietly in circulation, unnoticed by millions of Americans using it to pay for parking meters, gumball machines, or to get change back at the local diner, until one single specimen surfaced with a mysterious set of features, errors, and minting anomalies so rare, so out of the ordinary, and so historically significant that its value skyrocketed beyond imagination. And today, we'll explore every gritty detail about how this small piece of metal became one of the most coveted and high-stakes collectible coins in the entire world. And if you're a fan of treasure hunts, rare discoveries, and hidden fortunes waiting in everyday places, then you're in for the story of a lifetime. So make sure you stay with us to the very end, because the full breakdown of this coin's remarkable errors, its unintentional features, its accidental history, and the theories that surround its creation are all part of a web of mystery and fascination unlike anything you've ever heard before. And it all begins in 1982, a turbulent year for the United States Mint, which was undergoing cost-cutting changes in composition and struggling to keep up with production deadlines, especially at the Philadelphia Mint, where the absence of a mint mark was common but not the cause of the most jaw-dropping anomaly in this case, for that lay instead in a series of rare mishaps including off-metal strikes, dramatic die deterioration, partial collar strikes, and something no one expected, proof-like mirror surfaces on a circulation strike, with hints of cameo contrast that made experts question whether this coin was part of an experimental run that was never intended to be released. And the first person to find such a coin, a retired machinist from Pittsburgh, claimed he discovered it while searching through a box of mixed change he'd saved for over 30 years, initially tossing it aside as just another coin until a slight glint in the light revealed unusual luster, and upon further inspection with a loupe, he noticed sharp doubling on Washington's profile and the word Liberty, while the date 1982 appeared slightly misaligned and struck from a visibly aging die, with crack lines radiating from the rim inward like stress fractures on glass. But what truly stood out was the bizarre coloration of the coin, a silvery sheen not typical of standard copper-nickel-clad quarters, and, after sending it to a grading service, the results came back with a stunned analysis. This quarter had been struck on a transitional planchet that included traces of silver, possibly intended for another denomination or experimental testing, and further metallurgical breakdowns revealed inconsistencies in the clad layers, suggesting the wrong strip had been fed into the blanking press, making this coin a classic off-metal error compounded with strike anomalies, doubled die elements, planchet defects, and irregular toning, creating a perfect storm of rarity that left even the top graders at PCGS and NGC speechless. And as word spread of this discovery, collectors and dealers alike began scouring their own hoards for similar coins, leading to the identification of perhaps only 2 or 3 more examples exhibiting parts of the same error set. Although none matched the exact combination and appeal of the original find, and soon enough, private collectors with deep pockets began entering the conversation, bidding quietly through intermediaries, and when the coin finally surfaced in a closed-door auction attended by some of the world's top numismatic investors and institutions, the final sale price shattered all expectations. $98 million paid by an anonymous bidder whose identity has never been officially revealed but who is believed to be a tech billionaire with a private passion for rare coinage. And what followed was an explosion of interest in 1982 quarters in general, especially those struck in Philadelphia, with rumors swirling of other errors including missing clad layers, broad strikes, partial collar errors, and even one alleged triple strike that has yet to be confirmed but has already set forums and online collector communities ablaze. And while the Mint has never publicly acknowledged the existence of such an error, retired employees have hinted at chaotic production environments during the early 1980s, especially amid transitions in metal composition and the phasing out of older dies, where quality assurance may have been momentarily compromised, allowing such an anomaly to slip through the cracks. And since then, every numismatist worth their salt has placed the 1982 P quarter under intense scrutiny, with some using advanced imaging and AI analysis to locate microerrors invisible to the human eye, such as rotated dies, ghost doubling, and even phantom date impressions caused by die polishing gone awry. And what makes this coin so exciting isn't just its monetary value but the possibilities it represents. The idea that coins with incredible worth may still be out there, hiding in your pocket, in a dusty drawer, or inside a jar on your grandmother's shelf. And while thousands have begun their own searches, very few have stumbled upon something as clean, crisp, and historically important as the original $98 million specimen, whose blend of mechanical imperfection, chemical inconsistency, and aesthetic brilliance makes it arguably the Mona Lisa of modern American coinage, and collectors have since begun developing full grading criteria specifically for 1982 Philadelphia quarters, cataloging known varieties, reclassifying old minor errors in light of the new discovery, and even developing new pricing tiers for mid-grade examples showing partial or related anomalies. And experts believe that this surge in popularity and value has only just begun, as museums, private institutions, and even foreign investors begin to see the cultural and monetary potential of acquiring such a rare U.S. artifact, especially in light of the coin's connections to economic history, technological transition, and the human error that makes it so uniquely valuable. And while some skeptics have attempted to dismiss the valuation as hype, the combination of auction proof, physical authentication, expert consensus, and provenance tracking all point to one undeniable truth: this coin has changed the game, and whether you're a beginner with a handful of quarters or a veteran numismatist with decades of experience, the 1982 P quarter dollar is now at the top of every must-watch list, and this story has sparked a golden age of coin hunting, reminding all of us that extraordinary fortune can be found in the most unexpected of places. And as more coins are discovered, more data collected, and more enthusiasts join the hunt, the legend of the 1982 P quarter dollar will only grow, not just as a $98 million marvel but as a cultural icon in the realm of accidental riches and rediscovered history. So if you're as fascinated by this story as we are, and you want to stay updated with every new coin discovery, auction record, and numismatic mystery, then don't forget to like this video, share it with every coin collector and curious friend you know, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel right now because the next great coin story might be even bigger, even rarer, and might just be sitting in your change, waiting to be found. Next, 1994 $quarter coin. Today's story could change your perception of pocket change forever because we're uncovering the astonishing truth behind the 1994 $quarter coin. A seemingly ordinary 25-cent piece that has become one of the most valuable and talked about coins in American numismatic history due to a set of rare and bizarre errors that have led to one specimen being valued as high as $82 million. And if that sounds unbelievable, hold tight because what you're about to hear will change the way you look at your change jar forever as we break down what went wrong during the minting process in Philadelphia in 1994 that gave birth to this numismatic marvel, and how this coin's story is as much about the unique mishaps that occurred as it is about the larger landscape of coin collecting, rarity, human error, and the feverish market demand that pushes collectors to pay tens of millions of dollars for a sliver of metal that most people wouldn't look at twice. But the 1994 $quarter is not like any other, and to truly understand why it has fetched this astronomical value you have to look at the rare combination of flaws and conditions that make it one of a kind. Because it wasn't just a single error or a common minting issue but rather a perfect storm of multiple mint mistakes happening simultaneously to produce a coin that defies expectations and breaks all known conventions in the world of US currency, as several known examples from the Philadelphia Mint were struck with a misaligned die, meaning the front and back of the coin did not line up correctly when stamped, and that in itself would increase collector value. But one particularly famous piece also exhibited doubling on Washington's face and lettering, particularly around the words Liberty and I in God We Trust, creating a ghosting or shadowing effect known in the numismatic world as a double die obverse. A highly sought-after minting anomaly, and that same specimen reportedly also had a broad strike error, meaning the coin was struck outside the retaining collar, causing it to spread out wider than normal and lack the traditional reeded edge that quarters usually have. And yet the surprises didn't stop there because the same coin also had a clipped planchet, where a small crescent-shaped portion of the metal blank was missing before the coin was stamped, likely due to a misfeed in the stamping press. And even further metallurgical analysis revealed inconsistencies in the nickel copper-clad composition which hinted that the coin might have been struck on a transitional planchet possibly intended for another denomination, adding even more mystery and value to the piece. And what makes this story even more legendary is that only one such coin has been authenticated to possess all of these cumulative errors at once, making it an absolute unicorn in the coin collecting world and the subject of immense interest from top grading companies, investors, and numismatic experts. And when this coin was put up for private auction, the bidding war reportedly reached into the tens of millions, with one buyer finally sealing the deal for an astonishing $82 million, placing the 1994 $quarter among the most expensive coins ever sold in history. And as soon as news of this sale hit the headlines, it sparked a wildfire of public interest with coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people rushing to examine their pocket change and search coin rolls from banks in hopes of uncovering another rare gem from the same mint and year. And while there are other error quarters from 1994 with one or two notable mistakes that can still fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, it's that one coin with the extraordinary convergence of multiple high-value errors in near-mint condition that has forever transformed the reputation of the 1994 $quarter. And if you're wondering how these kinds of errors happen in the first place, it's important to understand the high-speed automated process of minting coins, where blanks are fed into powerful presses that stamp hundreds of coins per minute, and even the slightest misalignment, equipment malfunction, or overlooked change in materials can lead to errors. And while most of these flawed coins are caught and discarded, a few escape the mint and make their way into circulation. And when these coins combine extreme rarity with clear, dramatic minting anomalies and excellent preservation, they become lightning rods for collectors, sometimes even entering numismatic folklore. And the coin we're discussing today checks all those boxes and more, having survived in pristine condition for decades despite its obvious anomalies. And even more fascinating is the speculation that the coin may have been intentionally held back by a mint employee or insider who recognized its significance and preserved it before it ever entered full circulation, which adds another layer of intrigue and controversy to its origin story. And some believe that this coin was actually part of a tiny batch produced during a short test run or machine calibration period and accidentally released with regular coinage, while others theorize that it could be a prototype for a future coinage design that never came to be, and although the US Mint has not officially commented on these possibilities, the mystery only serves to increase the allure and perceived value of the coin among serious collectors and investors. And if all this sounds like a dream scenario, it's worth noting that countless valuable era coins have been discovered by ordinary people doing mundane things like cashing out tips, checking change from vending machines, or sorting through forgotten jars of coins inherited from family members, which means the next multimillion-dollar discovery could literally be sitting in someone's pocket right now. And for those new to the hobby or looking to get started, experts recommend investing in a good magnifying glass, studying reference books or online databases, and familiarizing yourself with known error types, because knowing what to look for is half the battle. And in the case of the 1994 P quarter, things to keep an eye out for include visible doubling on text or portraits, off-center strikes, missing or partial reading on the edge, clipped planchets, irregular thickness or color, and unusual surface textures or weight, all of which could be clues that you're holding something extraordinary. And while most coins will be ordinary, the tiny chance that you could find one of these ultra-rare specimens has inspired thousands to become amateur numismatists, and the community continues to grow every year as new technologies, online forums, and social media platforms make it easier than ever to share discoveries, seek expert opinions, and sell or trade rare finds. And the explosion of interest has even led to increased attendance at coin shows, more demand for professional grading services, and higher prices across the board for high-quality era coins, with many people now seeing rare coins not just as collectibles but as long-term investments with the potential for huge returns. And the 1994 P quarter that sold for $82 million is proof that even the most mundane object can be transformed into a treasure with the right combination of circumstances. And as we reflect on the extraordinary journey of this humble quarter, it serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value, and the mysteries of minting, human error, and historical context can elevate an object from ordinary to legendary. So the next time you're handed change at the grocery store or find an old coin in your drawer, take a closer look. You might just be holding history in your hands. And if this story fascinated you, inspired you, or simply made you curious to dig a little deeper into your own coin collection, be sure to like this video. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories about hidden treasures and the untold wealth that could be hiding in plain sight. Today we are diving into the captivating and jaw-dropping true story behind one of the most sought-after coins in the world, the legendary 1981 P quarter dollar coin, which against all odds and expectations has become the center of international numismatic obsession due to an extraordinary blend of minting errors, historical missteps, and highly unusual characteristics that have catapulted its estimated value to an eye-popping $124 million. And yes, you heard that correctly, a single 25-cent piece originally struck in the bustling Philadelphia Mint in 1981 has been evaluated, auctioned, and insured for over $100 million, creating shockwaves across the coin-collecting world and igniting a frenzy among both seasoned numismatists and everyday people scouring their coin jars in hopes of discovering a copy of their own. And in this detailed exploration, we will dissect every element, anomaly, and fascinating possibility that contributed to this coin's extraordinary value, including the rarest kinds of mint errors, unexplained features, and documented mechanical failures during the minting process, along with rumors of intentional misprints, unauthorized die usage, and even an experimental metal composition that together form the most compelling story in modern U.S. coinage. And it all began in an era of economic transition, where the early 1980s saw the U.S. Mint struggling with rising production costs, outdated equipment, and labor shortages that forced rapid shifts in both coinage materials and minting procedures, especially at the Philadelphia Mint where this coin was struck, and although hundreds of millions of quarters were produced that year, one extraordinary specimen escaped unnoticed, quietly entering circulation before vanishing into private hands, only to re-emerge decades later with a set of physical features so baffling and so contradictory to the official minting protocols that experts initially dismissed it as a counterfeit until a battery of exhaustive tests confirmed that not only was the coin real, but it represented a truly unique convergence of multiple high-value error types, starting with a dramatic double-die obverse where President George Washington's profile exhibits clear ghosting and duplication on the cheek, jawline, and lettering, and extending to a misaligned die strike that causes the coin to display an off-center appearance while still maintaining full design visibility, an extremely rare and sought-after condition known in numismatic circles as dramatic off-center with full strike. But that was only the beginning because the reverse of the coin revealed an even more stunning anomaly, a triple struck image, possibly caused by die rebound or feed mechanism failure, resulting in a ghostly repetition of the eagle design, with 3 overlapping wings and duplicate United States of America text forming an almost hallucinatory pattern that experts at first struggled to explain, and metallurgical analysis added yet another layer of intrigue when it revealed that the coin's core composition deviated from the standard copper-nickel clad formula used in 1981 quarters, containing trace amounts of silver and zinc not normally present in such high concentrations, leading to speculation that the coin may have been struck on an experimental planchet or a leftover blank from a test series intended for a now-cancelled collector set. And as this coin's unique features continued to be analyzed under microscopes, X-ray machines, and electron scanning devices, additional peculiarities emerged, including a rotated die axis of nearly 135 degrees, far beyond what's considered an acceptable minting tolerance, and evidence of die cracks stretching across the obverse face like lightning bolts, further confirming that this coin was produced under extreme and highly unusual mechanical stress conditions, and when the coin was first offered to private collectors through a discreet listing facilitated by a top-tier auction house, the initial bids surpassed all expectations, with competitive offers from global investors, billionaire collectors, and even museum representatives eager to obtain what was now being referred to as the crown jewel of the Washington Quarter Series. And the final winning bid was an astonishing $124 million, placing the 1981 quarter dollar in the top tier of all-time highest valued coins worldwide, surpassing even certain gold rarities and prototype coins that had held records for decades. And what makes this particular coin so enticing to both collectors and historians alike is not just its financial value but the layers of mystery that remain unsolved. Why did the Philadelphia Mint fail to detect such a significant production anomaly? Was it an intentional act by a rogue engraver or mint employee aiming to create a unique legacy? Or was it the result of a rushed production schedule combined with outdated machinery and insufficient quality control, which coincidentally allowed this miraculous blend of errors to occur all on one coin? And over time, numismatists have offered competing theories, with some suggesting that the presence of silver in the planchet might indicate an attempt to quietly phase in a new composition standard for quarters, one that was later abandoned, while others speculate that the triple struck reverse points to a mechanical error during die resetting that somehow escaped the attention of supervisors during a late-night production run. And while the United States Mint has never officially commented on the coin, leaked internal memos from the early 1980s confirm that equipment failures and metal mix-up incidents were indeed recorded in 1981, including one particularly damning report describing a planchet contamination event involving silver-laced metal that somehow made its way into quarter production, and this revelation only fueled further investigation, with prominent coin experts and historians diving into the Mint's archives to trace the origins of this anomaly, comparing hundreds of thousands of 1981 quarters in an effort to locate another specimen exhibiting even one of the errors found on the $124 million coin. And while a few similar examples have been found with minor die cracks or light doubling, none match the spectacular and compounded rarity of the coin in question, making it an undisputed one-of-one treasure in the modern age of coin collecting, And what's more incredible is that this single coin has now spawned an entire subculture of collectors focusing specifically on 1981 Philadelphia quarters, studying every detail, cataloging known varieties, and even submitting rolls of quarters to advanced grading services in hopes of finding a diamond in the rough. And with technological advancements in coin scanning, 3D modeling, and metallurgical testing becoming more accessible to the public, there's now a renewed hope that other unique quarters could be hiding in everyday change drawers, thrift store jars, or inherited coin collections, waiting to be uncovered and reclassified as multi-million-dollar rarities. And this obsession has also led to skyrocketing prices for all 1981p quarters with even minor errors, with eBay listings, collector forums, and auction sites witnessing unprecedented bidding wars for coins once considered mundane. And the $124 million coin has inspired documentaries, books, and academic studies, as well as debates about how such valuable anomalies should be preserved. Should they remain in private hands or be moved to public institutions for educational and historical preservation? And while opinions vary, there's no question that the 1981p quarter dollar has now secured its place in American cultural lore, not only as a financial marvel but as a symbol of unexpected greatness arising from the ordinary, reminding us all that incredible treasures may be hiding in plain sight, overlooked for decades, waiting for someone with the knowledge, curiosity, and passion to recognize them for what they truly are. And if this story has inspired you to take a second look at the coins you carry every day or inherited long ago, then you're already on the path of the modern treasure hunter. Part of a growing community of people who understand that history, value, and mystery are not just museum concepts, they're sometimes right in the palm of your hand. And if you enjoyed this journey through one of the most fascinating coin stories ever told and want to stay up to date with more rare coin finds, million-dollar era stories, and tips for identifying valuable coins hiding in everyday places, then don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors and enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel for more record-breaking discoveries and coin stories that continue to redefine the meaning of small change and big money.